9 things man should not do with women. It kills attraction instantly. Modern Stoic. Let's strip away the noise for a moment. Too many men unknowingly sabotage their connection with women, not because they're inadequate, but because they've been misled. Conditioned by culture, media, and old programming, they believe that more effort means more love, that constantly proving yourself, being endlessly available, and showering her with attention will win her over. It won't. In fact, those behaviors often destroy attraction at its core. Why? Because true attraction isn't built on effort alone. It's built on presence, certainty, and grounded masculinity. When you become too eager, too accommodating, or too emotionally dependent, you smother the very energy that draws a woman in. You erase the mystery. You eliminate the tension. You remove the edge. And once the edge is gone, so is the spark. Here's the uncomfortable truth: a woman may still smile, text back, or go on a few dates, but internally, the thrill is gone. She's checked out. And in today's world, where she has options at her fingertips, she won't always tell you what's wrong. She'll just drift. That's where most men get stuck, confused, frustrated, asking themselves, what did I do wrong? This message is your clarity. Women respond to strength, not arrogance, but authentic inner strength. They're drawn to confidence, emotional control, clear boundaries, and a calm, powerful presence, not neediness, not desperation, not the man who constantly seeks approval. In this breakdown, we're going to expose 9 silent behaviors that instantly kill attraction. No fluff, no gimmicks, just straight, grounded insight that will shift the way you show up forever. This isn't about manipulating anyone. It's about returning to yourself, reclaiming your edge, and moving through the world with presence, not performance. If you're tired of chasing confusing signals or unexplained losses, listen carefully. This is your pivot point. 1. Don't put her on a pedestal. You've heard it before, but let's make it crystal clear. Don't put her on a pedestal. You might think you're being respectful, chivalrous, or even just being kind when you elevate a woman in your life. But here's the catch. It's a quick path to killing the attraction. You might not notice it right away, but slowly, you're doing more damage than you think. It's not always what you do, but how you do it. It's in the subtle actions, the little nuances. Sure, you might think you're doing the right thing by always agreeing with her, but that's exactly where things start to go wrong. You're not thinking for yourself anymore. You're not standing on equal ground. Instead, you're turning yourself into someone trying to get her approval. You become a yes man, and trust me, that's not the version of you she's looking for. This dynamic doesn't have to be a grand gesture of bowing or complimenting her endlessly. Sometimes, it's in the everyday things. Changing your plans just because she asks or acting overly nervous around her might seem harmless, but over time, it paints a picture of a man who doesn't think his time, plans, or opinions are as important as hers. That's dangerous territory. And here's why. When you put her on a pedestal, you automatically put yourself beneath her. You create a power imbalance that neither of you benefits from. Women, no matter how attractive or accomplished, are drawn to men who hold their own, not men who constantly seek validation. You must never forget this. She is not your queen and you are not her servant. You are equals, period. The second she senses that shift, her attraction starts to die a slow death. Women want challenge. They want to be with someone who sees them for who they truly are and still believes they deserve to be with someone who is just as capable, confident, and grounded as they are. Think about it: if she's attractive, successful, or confident, that's fantastic. But those are just qualities. She has those just like you have yours. The moment you start to treat her like she's on another level simply because she's beautiful or has a good job, you're telling her that you have no value outside of her. You've just handed over your power. And guess what? She'll take it. And with it, she'll start taking you for granted. No woman wants to be worshipped. That's not what makes her heart race or her eyes sparkle. Women want men who challenge them, who don't let their emotions, time, or attention be dictated by anyone else. She wants someone who can admire her beauty and value without being blinded by it. You must show her that your time and attention are valuable, and that not everyone gets to share that with you. The pedestal mindset comes from a place of scarcity. Men who feel like they don't have many options, men who feel like they have to earn her attention, tend to put her above them. And guess what? That energy is obvious. She can feel it, and it's not attractive. Being needy is never appealing. It doesn't show strength, it shows dependence. And no woman wants that kind of responsibility. The weight of being the source of your happiness, that's emotional baggage. Don't give her that burden. But here's the key. You don't need to act cold or arrogant to avoid putting her on a pedestal. You don't need to treat her poorly. You just need to treat yourself well. Hold firm in your own value. Be grounded in the belief that you are a prize too. Your time, your energy, your attention are valuable resources. Not everyone is entitled to them, including her. She must earn your respect, just as much as you earn hers. Here's the ultimate takeaway. Never hand over your worth just because she has a pretty face or a smooth voice. See her for who she truly is. Respect her, admire her, but never lose yourself in her. Don't give away your confidence just because she walks into the room. A woman wants to look up to you, not feel like she has to carry you. Confidence, my friend, is silent. Real men don't worship. They connect, challenge, and lead. So hold your ground. Stay centered. Be the man who doesn't bend just because she's in the room. Stay confident. Be the kind of man who she respects, not one who is just there to fill her emotional void. And trust me, when you're able to do this, she'll look at you in a whole new light. 2. Don't overpursue. Let's get real for a moment. Many men unknowingly sabotage their own chances with women. It's not because they lack potential or character, but because they've been conditioned to believe that doing more for a woman will automatically make her fall for them. They chase harder, give more, remain overly available, and try to prove their worth constantly. But here's the hard truth, this strategy rarely works. In fact, it can push her away. Attraction isn't about being overly nice, constantly proving yourself, or doing more for her. It's about how she feels when she's around you. It's about the vibe you bring, and the emotional energy you create. Some actions, although they might seem harmless, kill attraction in an instant. They drain the excitement, the mystery, and the allure that initially drew her in. When you act needy, overly eager, or desperate, you lose what truly matters. Once this shift happens, it's over. She might still engage with you, but the spark is gone, the chase is finished, and sadly, the attraction is dead. Here's the reality: most men miss women are emotionally driven. They're drawn to confidence, leadership, boundaries, and energy, not to constant validation seeking or over-explaining. In a world full of options, if you're not doing the right things, she won't confront you. She'll simply pull away, stop responding, or fade into silence. This is your wake-up call. Let's dive into 7 critical mistakes men often make that instantly kill attraction. These aren't just theories. These are proven insights that'll shift the way you approach women. It's time to stop chasing what's slipping away and start reclaiming your power. Get ready. This will change the way you move in the dating world forever. 3. Don't make her your therapist. Don't make her your therapist. Here's the deal. A woman can be many things in your life. A partner, a lover, a teammate. But there's one thing she should never be: your emotional dumping ground. Too many men make the critical mistake of thinking that sharing every insecurity, every doubt, every emotional wound will create a deeper bond. It doesn't. It kills attraction. And it does so in a way you probably don't even realize. Instead of drawing her closer, you push her away. She doesn't see you as a strong, capable man who can handle his own. She starts seeing you as emotionally weak. And that's a deal breaker for attraction. That's the harsh truth. Let me clarify something. Though emotional honesty isn't the issue. Of course, being real and showing vulnerability are important parts of any relationship. But there's a fine line between being open and laying your emotional burdens on her. It's all about timing, context, and delivery, when you keep unloading your emotional struggles on her, whether it's about your job frustrations, your anxiety, or your past failures, it's draining. And it puts her in a position she never signed up for, feeling like she has to fix you, instead of wanting to be with you. And once a woman starts seeing you as someone she needs to care for, emotionally, it's a wrap. The romance vanishes, her respect slips, the attraction evaporates. Here's the thing you need to grasp. Strength isn't about never having issues. Women respect strength in how you handle those issues. When she sees you actively working through challenges, standing tall, and finding solutions, whether it's through your own mental resilience, a clear mission in life, or support from your solid male friends or mentors, she'll respect you more. She'll admire your ability to rise above. But if all she sees is a man who constantly crumbles, needing her to hold him together, she starts doubting your leadership, your ability to protect, and your capacity to provide stability, traits that are undeniably tied to feminine attraction. This doesn't mean you should bottle everything up. You can talk about your struggles, but do it from a place of control and self-reliance, not collapse. When you open up, frame it like this: I've been through this, I'm learning, I'm improving, not like I'm falling apart, and I need you to save me. Women admire a man who is resilient, a man who can carry his own weight. They're attracted to men who are strong, not to those who become burdens they have to carry. If you're dealing with heavy emotional wounds, whether that's trauma, depression, or mental stress, don't expect her to fix it for you. Seek out support from your brothers, a therapist, or a coach. Build your emotional structure outside of her. Use her as support, not as a crutch. The moment she starts becoming your therapist is the moment you lose her as a lover. When this shift happens, it's devastating. She no longer sees you as her man, she sees you as a project. And when that happens, intimacy fades, attraction breaks. She doesn't want to surrender to a man who is weak. She wants to surrender to a man who is strong, who has a plan, and who can handle his business. And that is what you must aim to be. Women can handle your truth, but they cannot bear your entire emotional weight. Don't mistake emotional dumping for emotional depth. Be open, yes, but be strong. That's the balance that keeps her respect, her desire, and her attraction to you alive. Keep that in mind if you want to avoid the dreaded friend zone and keep the spark alive. If you find this video valuable, like, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember, I am a strong, resilient man who handles my own emotional challenges. 4. Don't be indecisive. Don't be indecisive. There's nothing that kills attraction faster than a man who can't make a decision. Indecision isn't just about choosing where to eat or what movie to watch. It screams uncertainty. And here's the kicker. It tells her you're unsure of yourself, unsure of what you want, and potentially unsure of her. And that's a deal breaker. You've heard the saying, a woman will never fully trust or desire a man she feels she has to lead. Right? Well, it's true. She doesn't want to be the one always deciding where to go, what to do, or what the future looks like, at least not all the time. When you constantly defer to her on these things, it places the burden of leadership squarely on her shoulders, which is a surefire way to shut down her feminine energy. She wants to feel your presence. She wants to feel like you're taking charge, not like she's constantly holding your hand and telling you which direction to go. Most guys think they're being polite when they say, whatever you want is fine, or you decide. But to her, that's not flexibility. It's a cop-out. It feels like you're pushing all the responsibility onto her. And with every time you do that, she starts to wonder, can he lead? Can he take charge of something bigger than this? Can I trust him with more serious decisions down the road? If those questions aren't answered with a resounding yes, you're in trouble. Her attraction will fade fast. A woman wants to feel your direction, even in the small things. Whether you're picking a restaurant or planning a weekend getaway, she doesn't expect perfection, but she's looking for initiative, for you to show her that you've got things under control, that you're not afraid to take the reins. That's leadership. But let's get something straight. Leadership is not dictatorship. It's about being decisive, but also showing a willingness to bend when needed. For example, saying, "I've made reservations at this new spot. Thought we could check it out, but if you're in the mood for something else, I'm open," shows that you're leading while still taking her preferences into account. That's the kind of decision-making she can get behind. Indecision also pops up in deeper ways, like when you're wishy-washy about the future, flip-flopping in your intentions, or constantly hesitating to express how you feel. Women are experts at picking up on that kind of energy, and when doubt starts creeping in, attraction starts fading. Being decisive isn't just about making a decision, it's about trusting yourself. A man who trusts himself doesn't spend hours overthinking every move. He makes a call, sticks to it, and adjusts when necessary. That kind of self-assurance is magnetic. It makes a woman feel like she can relax into her own femininity because she knows you're not afraid to lead, that you've got it covered. So, don't be the guy who leaves everything up in the air, leaving her to wonder if you even have a plan. Be the guy who steps up, who moves with clarity and purpose. Because when you walk into a room with conviction, make decisions with confidence, and have a clear direction, she won't just respect you, she'll be drawn to you. 5. Don't be too available. Let's cut to the chase. If you're constantly available to a woman, you're setting yourself up for failure. I know. It sounds strange, right? The common belief is that if you really like her, you should always be ready to answer her calls, respond to every text within seconds, and drop whatever you're doing just to be with her. But here's the truth. Too much availability actually kills attraction. When you're always there, always ready, always predictable, you remove the mystery, the excitement, and the challenge that fuels desire. Attraction doesn't thrive in certainty, it thrives in mystery. A woman wants a man who has a life beyond her, someone who has a mission, someone who is focused on his own growth and purpose. A man who is on a path of his own, who isn't waiting around for someone else to define his worth or fill the gaps in his life. When you're constantly available, she starts to feel like the center of your world. In the beginning, this might seem flattering. She might enjoy the attention, the validation, the certainty that you're always there, but over time, something shifts. She'll realize you don't have anything going on. You're not busy with your own passions or goals. You're not challenging her in any way because you're always right there, easy to reach like a safety net. And that's when the attraction starts to slip away. She stops seeing you as the man who's worthy of her attention, the man who has to be earned. Instead, she starts seeing you as convenient, someone who will always be there no matter what. Convenience isn't attractive. High-value men are never seen as convenient. Think about it. If you're always texting her back within seconds, if you're always jumping at every opportunity to hang out with her, if you're always saying yes to be near her, what message does that send? It tells her your time is cheap. It says you don't have anything else going on. You're waiting around, living in a holding pattern for her to notice you. That's a surefire way to lose her interest. And once she starts seeing your time as cheap, she stops valuing it. She'll stop valuing you. She might even start seeing you as less of a man and more of a fallback option, a man who has nothing better to do than sit around, waiting for her to fill the empty space in his life. This isn't how a high-value man operates. A high-value man is in demand. He has a purpose. He has goals. He has friends. He has passions. He has things that matter to him that don't revolve around her. His time is not something he gives away lightly. He's selective. He doesn't drop everything to answer her call immediately. Sometimes he's busy. Sometimes he doesn't respond right away. Not because he's playing games, but because he's living a full life, a life that he is leading, not waiting for someone to fill. When she sees you this way, when she sees that your time and attention must be earned, her respect for you grows. She starts to see you as the man who is worth investing in, the man who is not just sitting there, waiting for her to acknowledge him. She starts to wonder what you're up to when you don't respond right away. She starts to imagine what your life is like when you're not around. That little bit of uncertainty, it's powerful. It triggers curiosity. It triggers desire. And when a woman is curious about you, when she wants to know what you're doing, where you are, what you're thinking. That's when the emotional pull begins to happen. You've activated something deeper than just surface attraction. You've sparked a desire for more, a need to understand you better, to be a part of your world. This isn't about playing games or being cold. Don't confuse this with being distant for the sake of playing hard to get. Playing hard to get doesn't work. But being a man who has a life, who has purpose, who has things that matter more than just waiting around for a woman's approval, that works, that makes you a man of value. You have to stop trying to prove your loyalty by always being available. Stop trying to show her that you're there for her whenever she needs you. Be present when you are with her, but don't make her the center of your world. Let her see that your life is full, that you have your own journey, your own mission. She doesn't have to be the entire focus of your existence for you to care about her. In fact, the more she sees that you have your own life, the more she'll respect you, the more she'll see you as a man who is worth pursuing, worth earning. Your life should be so rich with purpose and activity that you're not sitting around waiting for the next text message. And that's what makes you attractive. As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This is the key. Be the man who doesn't need validation from anyone. Be the man who is too busy creating the life he wants to live to be caught up in someone else's schedule. When you stop seeking constant approval, you start living life on your own terms. And that's when women are drawn to you, not because you've been available 24/7, but because your life is magnetic, because you live it with purpose, because you are selective with your time and energy. You must make her earn your attention. When you do this, she will value you more. She will chase you. She will respect you. That's the power of being a man with a purpose, with a life that doesn't depend on her. And remember this. The key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities, as Stephen Covey wisely said. So stop making her the priority. Make yourself the priority. Focus on your goals, your passions, your growth. Let her fit into your life, not the other way around. That's how you'll maintain attraction. That's how you'll master the art of attraction and become the man every woman desires. If this message spoke to your heart today, leave a comment about faith. I am a high-value man. 6. Don't avoid tension. Don't avoid tension. It's one of the biggest mistakes men make without realizing it, and it's killing attraction faster than you can imagine. A lot of men fear tension. They believe that the moment things feel uncomfortable, whether it's a disagreement or silence in the conversation, something has gone wrong. And what do in response? They over-apologize. They smooth things over too quickly. They agree just to avoid any discomfort. They silence their own opinions to keep the peace. And all of this, they think, is to be kind or keep her happy. But here's the truth: by doing all of this, you're slowly draining the attraction. Tension isn't your enemy. Tension is what keeps things alive. It's the spark. It's the edge. It's what makes things interesting. Women aren't attracted to men who fold under pressure. They want a man who can stand firm even when the air gets thick, even when the mood changes, and even when it feels like the weight of the world is on his shoulders. They want a man who isn't afraid to challenge her thinking, a man who doesn't rush to fill every silence, a man who remains steady and calm when she throws her mood swings at him. This presence, the kind of man who can stay grounded in discomfort, that's what's magnetic. The truth is, attraction thrives in tension. When a woman sees that you can stay emotionally stable, even in tough moments, it creates both safety and intrigue for her. She feels safe because she knows you're not going to collapse under pressure. She feels intrigued because she knows you won't just fold to her mood swings or seek her approval. That right there is the difference between a boy looking for validation and a man who's emotionally secure. You see, avoiding tension doesn't always look like weakness. Sometimes it's masked as being the nice guy, the one who keeps things light, avoids confrontation, or sweeps serious topics under the rug. But don't fool yourself. She sees through it. She notices that you're not being real. She starts to lose trust, not because you're mean, but because you're not authentic. Women don't want a perfect man. They want a genuine one. And part of being genuine is standing firm in who you are, even when it creates tension. If she says something you disagree with, say it. If she disrespects you, call it out. If she tests your boundaries, hold your ground. But here's the catch that doesn't mean you have to explode. Get emotional or throw a tantrum. It means staying calm, composed, and unwavering. That's masculine energy. That's what keeps her intrigued. That's what makes her want more. Avoiding tension turns you into something flat, predictable, and weak. Women are drawn to men who can navigate conflict without losing their sense of self. So stop running from tension. Embrace it. It's in these moments of friction where respect is earned and where attraction thrives. 7. Don't try to impress her too much. Don't try to impress her too much. It's one of the fastest ways to drive her away, and you might not even realize you're doing it. Many men fall into this trap thinking that flashing their success, possessions, or generosity will make a woman fall for them. But let me tell you something. Trying too hard to impress a woman screams one thing loud and clear. You don't believe you're enough as you are. Think about it for a second. A man who shows up on a date listing his achievements, bragging about his income, dropping names of people he knows, or exaggerating his past isn't showing confidence. No, he's showing insecurity, wrapped up in what he thinks looks like value. And women can spot it a mile away. She might smile and nod, maybe even engage, but deep down, it doesn't spark real attraction. Instead, it creates a vibe of pressure, discomfort, and awkwardness. What most men miss is that women are impressed by who you are when you're not trying to impress them. It's your calmness, self-assuredness, and comfort in your own skin that makes her feel drawn to you, not your resume, car, flashy watch, or how many exotic trips you've taken. Those things are just accessories. They don't define you. When you're constantly on the grind to impress, you're taking away the space for her to qualify herself to you, and that's a major issue. The moment you try too hard to win her over, you've made her the prize. And the problem is, if she knows you already see her as the prize, she won't feel the need to invest in the relationship. You've already given away all the power. Now, she's the one evaluating you, and suddenly, you're on trial. Flip the script. Be the man who shares what he wants, not just what he has. A man who truly knows his worth doesn't need to show it off. He lets it speak for itself. He doesn't need constant validation or chase after compliments. He's comfortable in silence, confident in simplicity, and uninterested in proving anything to anyone. Let her notice your ambition, but don't shove it in her face. Let her appreciate your style without making it a point to flaunt it. Don't feel the need to force-feed her your life story. The less you try, the more natural the connection becomes. And that's when the real attraction starts to build. If you're constantly putting on a show, she'll be watching, but she won't be connecting. Drop the act. Be real. Be solid. Show her that you're the prize without ever having to say it. That's when she'll truly see your value. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. 8. Don't be a people pleaser. Gentlemen, here's the truth you need to grasp, saying yes to everything a woman asks. Thinking that will make her happy is a surefire way to destroy attraction. It's a trap many men fall into, trying to be agreeable, avoid conflict, and simply go with the flow in hopes of keeping the peace. But this strategy is not the golden ticket to a successful relationship. It's a fast-track ticket to a slow death of attraction. And here's why. Being a people pleaser doesn't make you look loving or considerate. It makes you look weak. Yes, weak. You might think you're doing her a favor by constantly agreeing with her, but all you're really doing is undermining your own masculinity. Attraction isn't about bending over backward to accommodate her every whim. It's about standing firm in your own identity, principles, and desires. You see, when you are constantly in a yes-man mode, what you're really signaling is that her opinion matters more than your own. You start to mold yourself into someone else, someone you think she wants, instead of being your authentic self. This is not confidence. This is submission. And women don't crave submission, they crave strength. If you're saying things like, "Whatever you want," I'm fine with anything. As long as you're happy, you are not showing kindness. No, you're showing a lack of boundaries. You're telling her that you can be shaped into whatever she wants, that you will sacrifice your own desires just to be liked. And once she senses this, her attraction to you begins to fade, fast. A woman may test your boundaries. She may challenge your decisions. But what she secretly respects is a man who has boundaries and stands by them. She doesn't want a man who will bend at her every command. She wants a man who can stand his ground and make decisions that serve his life first. This is what attracts a woman to you. Here's the thing. Real men know how to say no. They know how to prioritize their own principles and decisions, even if someone doesn't like it. This isn't arrogance, it's strength. It's the strength that creates a real, lasting respect and desire. You must stop seeking approval. Stop living your life as if your sole purpose is to please everyone around you. Stand firm. Embrace the discomfort that comes with making tough choices and maintaining your boundaries. Because this is the path to earning real respect. This is the path to lasting attraction. Let's make it clear, attraction thrives on respect. And respect is earned by being unapologetically yourself. It's time to stop molding yourself into someone you're not just to keep her happy. Instead, live by your principles. When you do this, you'll not only earn her respect, but you'll also earn something much more valuable, her genuine attraction. So remember, gentlemen, stop seeking approval. Stop being a people pleaser. Learn to say no, stand by your principles, and watch as your confidence and respect grow. That's how you build a relationship that stands the test of time. 9. Don't ignore your purpose. Don't make the mistake of underestimating this simple truth. Purpose is power. A man without purpose is a man devoid of true magnetism. It doesn't matter how handsome you are, how charming you can be, or how funny your jokes are. If you lack a purpose beyond the pursuit of women, your attraction will fade as quickly as it appeared. Why is that? Because purpose is the backbone of masculinity. It's your direction. It's what grounds you in a world that constantly pulls you in different directions. Women can sense when a man is anchored in something larger than the fleeting chase of their attention. That's when you begin to exude the kind of energy that is irresistible and magnetic. But here's where most men fail. They lose themselves the moment they start dating. They stop going to the gym. They stop working on their career. They stop grinding and striving toward their goals. Instead of keeping their momentum, they begin orbiting around her life, putting everything on pause and focusing solely on her. That's the fastest way to lose her interest and destroy any attraction you had. A man who is constantly chasing a woman without a clear purpose becomes a weak, needy shadow of the man he once was. Women don't want to see a man lose himself in the process of winning her over. They want a man who is already grounded in his own life, focused on his own purpose, and who has a vision for his future that goes beyond simply being in a relationship. When you stop putting her on a pedestal and start putting your mission first, your value skyrockets. A high-value man is a man who keeps his purpose at the center of his life, no matter the distractions. Whether you're building your business, advancing in your career, developing your body, or growing mentally and spiritually, your mission stays your priority. Women are a part of your life, yes, but they are never the sole purpose of it. This is the key to long-lasting attraction. This is the cornerstone of being truly desirable. Too many men fall victim to the belief that women want them to put everything aside and revolve their entire existence around them. That's a fatal mistake. Women don't want to be your purpose. They want to join a man who already has one. Don't make the fatal error of thinking she wants you to lose yourself for her sake. Instead, show her that you are a complete, independent, powerful man who doesn't need her to complete him, and that, in turn, makes you all the more attractive. A woman will respect a man who is constantly pushing forward, who is grinding every day, who is relentlessly pursuing his goals. This man is a leader, a force of nature, and that's the kind of man that women naturally want to follow. Think about it. Women are naturally drawn to men who have energy, ambition, and a clear purpose. When you are locked into your goals, your passion, and your mission, you radiate an energy that's impossible to ignore. That's the kind of man who inspires her. She will see the fire in your eyes, the intensity in your actions, and she won't just be attracted, she will be inspired to chase your flame. You must understand this. A woman who sees you chasing your purpose will never look at you the same way as the man who has nothing driving him forward. A man who has purpose is unstoppable. He's a man on fire. And women don't just want to stand around and watch from the sidelines. They want to be part of the journey. They want to contribute, to be inspired, and to chase that fire themselves. That's the beauty of purpose-driven attraction. You become a magnet for those who want to join your cause. A man without purpose is weak, aimless, and unattractive. But a man with a clear, compelling mission is a powerhouse. He commands respect. His energy is magnetic. And that's the kind of man who women feel compelled to follow. Let me make this clear focus on your mission. Make progress your lifestyle. The more you pursue your goals relentlessly, the more she will chase you. She wants to see that you are strong, determined, and purpose-driven. You must embody that energy every single day. Stop orbiting around her life. Focus on mastering yours. Whether it's pushing yourself at the gym, leveling up your career, deepening your knowledge, or improving your emotional intelligence, you must keep your focus sharp. Your progress should become your routine. When you do this, she won't just admire you from a distance. She will be compelled to step into your world. The famous philosopher, Nietzsche, once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." This timeless wisdom applies to every area of your life. If you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, then you are adrift. You're just going through the motions, without meaning or direction. But when you have a clear why, when you have a purpose, you can conquer anything. That's the kind of man who will never fail to attract women. A man without purpose will always be ignored, left behind. But a man with purpose, he is unstoppable. In modern life, it's easy to get distracted by the noise, the pressures, and the short-term desires. Don't get lost in the distractions. Find your mission, focus on your goals, and let that drive you every single day. In the end, attraction isn't about playing games or chasing empty validation. It's about being a man who knows exactly who he is, where he's going, and how to get there. Purpose makes you a force of nature. Stay grounded in your mission and watch the world, including women, gravitate towards you. When you live with purpose, when you make progress your lifestyle, your attraction will skyrocket. Your life becomes your greatest asset, and she will be inspired to become part of that. You must not forget this purpose's power. Keep it at the center of everything you do, and the women who come into your life will admire and follow you. Purpose isn't a side project. It's the driving force that fuels every aspect of your life. Let it lead you, let it guide you, and watch how your life transforms when you remain relentlessly committed to it. This is how you master your life. All right, guys, that's a wrap. Thanks for sticking around. Look, attraction isn't about tricks or trying too hard. It's about moving with purpose, cutting out the habits that quietly destroy respect, and becoming a man who doesn't need approval to lead. Stop chasing. Stop overgiving. Stop putting her on a pedestal. When you center your life around your own purpose, women notice, and they respond. So if there's one thing you take away from this video, let it be this: respect yourself first. That's the foundation of everything attraction, confidence, and leadership. Until next time, stay sharp, stay grounded, and remember, be the man she can't help but respect. Take care.